Antah krunushva. Antah krunushva. Mam hridi. Antah krunushva. Mam hridi. Mana innau. Mana innau. Sahasati. Mana innau sahasati. Antah krunushva mam hridi. Mana innau sahasati. Mana antah krunushva mam hridi. Mana innau sahasati. Atharva 7.36.1. 7.36.1. Antah krunushva mam hridi. Mana innau sahasati. That innau, when you split it is it now. It now becomes innau. Mana innau sahasati. It now innau sahasati. Atharva 7.36.1. 7th Kanda, 36 Sukta, first mantra. Now this is the piece of an Atharva mantra, and generally this Atharva mantra is used, applied, employed during Vivaha Samskara. Vivaha Samskara. It speaks about the relationship between husband and wife. It's a prayer by both. Now I need to speak something about this Vivaha Samskara. Now and then I have shared some of my thoughts about it, my study about it. Once again, let me speak certain things about it. We have got certain instincts, every one of us. Fine. But the way how we have to live by satisfying those instincts is also equally important. Now here in the Vedas, lot of guidelines are given, lot of guidelines. And every guideline, it's very clear, is in a very, very healthy way and contributes for the welfare of the society. In such a way they have given the guidance. So the basic instinct what I am speaking of is about that procreation. Nidrahara bhayamaithuna, procreation. This instinct of procreation in animals works in a different way. They come to heat during a certain season, the job is done and it is over, and there are no other considerations except that the relationship between one male and one female takes place. There is no relationships as we speak of in human society as mother, brother, sister, no, nothing of that. The whole process works on just the male and the female. That's the animal world. But when it comes to human society, it's not just the physical dimension we have got. Apart from that, we have got the intellectual dimension, we have the spiritual dimension. So the relationship between a male and a female in human society cannot be animal-like. It has to be something different. Because it has got plus 2 dimensions, which is not there in the animal world. There it is only physical. Physical requirements, physical pressures, and finally they procreate. That's the end of it. Because the other 2 dimensions are there in human society, in the human species, mere physical contact or mere physical process where they procreate will not be satisfactory to both. Will not be satisfactory to both. In the human species, where social beings, that's another important feature what you have to understand. We cannot live alone. We need company. We need company. This is another requirement of human society. Of course, even in animal world, many live in herds, many live in groups, many live as a family. But it is very rare in animal field. But whereas in human species, it's a requirement, it's a necessity. We cannot live alone. Solitary confinement is traumatic for us. It really disturbs us. We cannot live alone. We want company. We want to live together. So even this nature is considered here. And the purpose of human life is not just to enjoy, not to live at the sensual level, but to go for spiritual improvement, spiritual progress. That's the purpose of the human life. So by considering all these things, Vedas have given us some wonderful guidelines where it takes care of all these things. The human species, the intellectual and the spiritual dimension, the purpose of human life, that is spiritual improvement, spiritual progress, and of course the physical requirement also. Now, by considering all these things, the school what they have given is the marriage, the Vivaha Samskara. And in this Vivaha Samskara, they have added one more dimension of social responsibility and social interaction. That's also been considered. While we were discussing about the Saptapadi, so at that point of time, you should have remembered all those things. And if you recollect all those things, yes, we understand the importance of this Vivaha Samskara. Nowadays, under modernization or maybe some other thing, they go for so many different types of relationships, but in no such relationships, human beings can get the highest satisfaction. They are always insecure and they are always animal-like. Whereas when we speak of Vivaha Samskara, it's beyond that. It satisfies our individual physical needs, the intellectual needs, the spiritual needs, the social needs, in a very, very healthy and balanced way. That is marriage. That's marriage, Vivaha. Vivaha is Visheshena Vahanam. So some special responsibilities are taken over by the two. And that is Vivaha. They take upon themselves some special responsibilities and try to discharge them. Together. That togetherness is very important. Now, one more very, very important thing here is, in animal world, polygamy or polyandry is no problem at all because they just work on physical things. Whereas in human society, because we have got this intellectual and spiritual dimension also, polyandry or polygamy will not result in a harmonious relationship. Because one man is shared by several women, or one woman is shared among several men. Physically it could be alright, but when it comes to spiritual or intellectual courtship, it will not work out. It will not work out. So one man to one wife and one wife to one man is a must in human society. Because this intellectual relationship and spiritual relationship cannot happen in one day. Both of them have to work intensively. Both of them have to pursue that goal continuously. And over a period, that relationship will blossom. It takes time. And it has to be between one woman and one man. It's beyond that, that process cannot work out because it gets disturbed, it gets disintegrated. Whereas if it's one man to one wife and one wife to one man, both of them continuously work out the process and they'll be able to achieve it. Now this is special and peculiar for human society, which is not there in animal society because there is no the dimension of intellectual or spiritual progress. It's not there. It's just physical, it's just procreation, it's just begetting offsprings. That's the end of it. So here, when a man and a woman decided to come together, to live together, to share together, and of course, in addition to begetting children, to develop their intellectual compatibility and help each other for spiritual progress. Yes, it's a process. It's a process and they have to bind themselves together. They have to be faithful to one another because it's a joint venture. It's a joint venture. Alone a person cannot do it. All these things, physical, intellectual and spiritual. Alone a woman cannot do it. It's a joint venture, both have to work together. So they commit to one another and they are faithful to one another and together they work to achieve this goal. And they are bound by that Vivaha Samskara. In the Vivaha Samskara, they take oaths and say, okay, I shall be faithful to you and we shall together work for the intellectual and the spiritual progress of both of us. I will help you, you help me. I assist you, you assist me. I give you all the support what is required, you give me all the support. Of course, in the process, physical relationship is also there and we shall beget good children. More they become compatible at the intellectual spiritual level, better will be the offspring they get physically. Now that's a psychological point. That's a psychological point. If there is no compatibility between husband and wife, physically they may beget children, but the quality of the children what they beget will not be up to the mark. It's uncontrolled. It's uncontrolled, random. But if they plan well and if they develop the compatibility and then beget children, yes, they can be better offsprings. We call them Sat Santana. And that Sat Santana is called by the word Praja. Jai is one which has taken birth. Praja is which has taken birth in an exemplary way, in a wonderful way, in a very, very healthy way. That's Praja. Pra is Prakrishta Rupena. Prakrishta Rupena, in the best way possible, Ja, that which has taken birth, that is Praja. In the fifth step of the Saptapadi, they speak about this. Prajabhyaha Panchapadi Bhava. To beget better offsprings, we shall endeavor. Let us try. So this trial will be complete only when they work out for intellectual and spiritual compatibility. Now that's the basis of the whole school of marriage in the Vedic light. Now this piece of mantra will explain those things. Antakranashva mam hridi. Hridi, in your heart, not physical, spiritual, in your heart. Antakranashva mam, have me in your heart. Mam. Antakranashva, make me an inner resident in your heart. Antakranashva mam hridi. Take me to your heart.
Sharma ji.
Yes, please.
Can you please help us to write Kranishwa? It's Kranushwa or Krunishwa?
Kru, Swara.
Okay, Kru.
Kranashva.
No.
Dukri Karna we have seen. That Kru. Kranashwa. Dukri Karane, that's the root for it. Dukri Karane, Kranashwa. Antah Kranashwa, Mam Hridi. Have me in your heart. Take me to your heart. Keep me in your heart. Give a place for me in your heart. Okay, anything. So it is between both husband and wife. Now, because it is an understanding between husband and wife to progress physically, to progress intellectually, to progress spiritually together, okay, I shall be in your heart, you shall be in my heart. And there is no place for any other thing. That's what I was telling about this polyandry and polygamy. It's not there. It's not there. Polygamy and polyandry is purely physical. It misses the intellectual and the spiritual dimension. But that's also important for human species. We have seen in those societies where polyandry or polygamy is there, the intellectual and spiritual goals, they suffer. We have been seen. But one thing is also there, that is, due to some special circumstances where there is an imbalance between the ratio of male and female. Say male is more and the number of female is less, or maybe the other way, the number of female is more and the number of male is less. And such circumstances, as a temporary solution for that, sometimes they suggest polyandry or polygamy, but it's purely temporary and it is not a universal phenomenon. It's purely temporary for the time being because of that imbalance. Once that balance sets in, polyandry, polygamy is no more, it's there. And it is only an SOS, a distress method. And it is a distress because of that imbalance in the ratio. But for that, it is no solution, it is no humane way. Now the reason is, during such conditions, if we stick on to one person to one wife or one wife to one husband, then because of the imbalance, many people will not be able to satisfy their physical needs. So they may go astray, they may disturb the society by getting into illicit relationships, illegal relationships. So to prevent it, they have legalized temporarily that polyandry or polygamy, but polyandry or polygamy is not the natural process. It's an unnatural solution for the time being to prevent certain other disturbances. Okay, here it is one person to one person, and you please keep me in your heart. We are working together. You are in my heart, I am in your heart, and it's we two who are bound together to work for our intellectual and spiritual progress. Of course, physical is there, but physical is not the end of it. Now, these things have got its own implications. So, if you observe closely nowadays, the rate of divorces, it is increasing. More so in Western countries. In India, a divorce is not at all thought of. It's very clear. In the Vivaha Samskara, they speak of Jaradashtiyaha. That's one word they use during Vivaha Samskara. Jaradashtiyaha means we shall live together till our old age. They never think of, they never imagine of getting separated. It is we who have to work together. Maybe there are some differences, it doesn't matter. We'll clear those differences, we'll work together, I shall support you, you support me. This is the way they look at it. They never think of getting separated. That concept itself is not there. Your samskara is a bondage, is a relationship for life. They are very clear about it. But even in this Indian society, the number of divorces are increasing. And the laws governing divorces is very liberal in Western countries. Now, if you just study why it is, because they miss the intellectual and the spiritual dimension. They are very materialistic and they speak of the physical relationship and many materialistic considerations, and because they are not suitable, okay, we cannot live together, get out. This is what it happens. Now it clearly means that the other person is not there in a heart. It's just a superfluous relationship. If everything is fine, it continues. If nothing is not functioning properly, we kick out. And it's more so when we are speaking of these living relationships. It is still horrible. No commitment at all. And it is purely physical in nature. Then I speak of the intellectual or the spiritual dimension of it. Yes, I need something physically, you need something physically, so we shall make a trial, we shall make an experiment, we shall live together. If everything is fine, it will continue. If nothing is fine, I go on my way, you go on your way. No commitment at all, no commitment at all. Purely physical, purely animal-like, beast-like. It's all happening now, it's all happening because they miss the other two dimensions is very, very important for a human life, for a human species. That's the intellectual dimension and the spiritual dimension. It's the Vedas which very specifically emphasizes on these two dimensions. It says if just physically you're like an animal, you're a human being. Because you're a human being, the other two dimensions, that's the intellectual and the spiritual dimension, is more important for you. It's just the purpose of your human life. Of course, it doesn't miss the physical dimension. It does have it. But that's not the goal. That's not in the focus. The focus is elsewhere. So if that spiritual and intellectual compatibility or togetherness, if it has to be achieved, what should happen is the wife should have the husband in her heart, and the husband equally should have the wife in her heart. And they should be faithful to one another, and they have to work together, and it is a joint venture between those two and those two only for life. Antarkranishva mam hradi. Antarkranishva mam hradi. So give me a place in your heart. Yes, every person has got some positives and negatives. It's a package always. It's not that a person is 100% good. It's not that a person is 100% bad. It's all a mixture. We have got our own strengths, we have got our own weaknesses. Okay, we shall accept the strength and weaknesses of the other person and try to work out for this intellectual and spiritual betterment and upliftment. We'll do it. It's there. It's not that I am perfect. I am not a perfect man. I have got my own difficulties. I am not a perfect woman. I have got my own deficiencies, my own shortcomings. Daurbalya, we call it, our own weaknesses. We shall continue with that. We shall continue with that, and we shall help each other to overcome those shortcomings, those weaknesses, and we shall help each other to further strengthen our strengths. And this issue, we shall do this with all love, with all sacrifice, with all cooperation, with all friendship. It's a mutual help. It's a mutual support. I shall accept you as you are, with all your positives and negatives. And I request you to accept me also with all my positive and negatives. It doesn't mean I will continue with my negatives. No. Please help me to overcome it. I will help you to overcome your negatives. And what will happen? In the long run, because of this support, because of this guidance, yes, the negatives in us, the weaknesses in us will be able to overcome. And we as one unit, maybe what is a weakness for you, I am strong in that place. So as a unit, we are strong at that point. I will stand in front, you stand behind. Because I am strong in that point. Maybe in another point, the wife is strong at one point and the husband is weak at the same point. And she will say, you stand behind me. As a unit, we shall face it, no problem. Because I am strong, I will face the situation. So this understanding is a beautiful friendship between the two. Sakha saptapadi bhava, that's what we say in the 7th step. It's a friendship we are trying to develop. One more thing is there. More secrets we hold in us, more burdensome and anxious we become. We become depressed because of all those things. But when we share it out, now this sharing we cannot do to everyone. Now it's an understanding with the husband and wife. Okay, I shall share it with you, you share it with me. And we are transparent. There are no secrets between us. So all this tension, pressure, anxiety is all gone. Because I'm open. It's thrown out. What is there in me is all thrown out. Once it is thrown out, I become less burdensome. The burden what I carry will be less. More secrets we have got, more burdensome it is. It's a very simple psychological principle. More free we are, more open we are, more honest we are. Yes, we are able to experience that peace in ourselves. No tension, no pressure, no frustration, nothing. That's a beautiful agreement between the husband and wife. Okay, we shall lead a life jointly together and it is all open between us. Everything is open. I don't hide anything, you don't hide anything. There could be some positive and negatives. Yes, it's always there. Accept it, accept it. And try to overcome the negatives and let us help each other better. So if it all has to happen, one should have the other person in their heart and that person only. Antarkranishva mam hradi. shall be in your heart and you shall be in my heart. And we shall work together. It's a joint venture. We shall work together to achieve the intellectual and the spiritual goal. Then it says, Mana innau sahasati. Mana innau sahasati. Sahasati means let it be together. Let it be together. Mana, no mana, that is the hearts of both of us be together. First give a place. That's not the end of it. Let that be maintained. Antakrana Shomam Hridi, first part. Second part, Mana innau sahasati. Let our hearts be together for a long period. This is a process they are speaking of. And even modern psychologists, they have done lot of research on these things. And they have come out with findings which beautifully matches with this mantra, this piece of the mantra. They have studied single people, that is those who are not married. Just a single male, just a single female. And they have studied families where they are bound together as man and wife. A study. And they come out, this long back I read it in the Reader's Digest, Indian edition. Of course, it will be there in other editions also. There it says, those who are committed in marriage, those who have got a friend in the husband, friend in the wife, they were psychologically better than the single people. It's not that the single people were starving for their physical needs. No, they had physical needs. They satisfied their physical needs, but still they were not psychologically as sound as the couple. That couple, when I say couple who are bound by the marriage, the wedding, who have taken their life as a joint venture, they are psychologically better off because they had beautiful support in the partner. The partner supported them intellectually and spiritually, and they were together. Of course, the physical needs are also satisfied. They are better off. But the other people, they had a sense of insecurity in them because they were alone. They never had a partner. They never had a joint venture. They never had a support from the other person for a long period because there's a time required to develop oneself intellectually and spiritually. It cannot happen overnight. They missed that. Now this finding in the modern days by the psychologists is very well understood by the ancient Vedic seers. They are very clear. They have to live together. We need company. And that company has to continue for a long period. We have to accept each other with positives and negatives and help the other person in the joint venture, the partner, to improve intellectually and spiritually. Of course, physical needs are satisfied. That is never lost sight of. It's there always. But the focus is not the physical relationship. Focus is not that. It is a byproduct. More they become intellectually compatible, more they become spiritually compatible, the physical satisfaction increases manifold. That's the law. That's the law. Particularly in human species, not elsewhere. So two things have to be done. First, give a place, Antakrana Shomam Hridi, then maintain it and continue it for a long time. Anayinno sahasati. So this is a prayer what they do during marriage. This mantra is chanted by both the bride and the groom, the man and the wife. Have me in your heart, and we shall continue this for a long period and strive for becoming closer and closer. In addition to physical thing, intellectually and spiritually, we shall become closer. Now this process is a wonderful process, and we have seen in our previous generation, previous to that generation, where the husband and wife used to live together happily for 80, 90, 100 years. So happy. It's not that they had no problems, but they were capable of overcoming those problems and solving them. They had differences of opinions, but they were able to overcome it because there was a commitment for them that it is a joint venture and we have to live long together. They cannot live long with differences. They have to overcome those differences. And this overcoming of differences itself is a wonderful spiritual exercise, an intellectual exercise, and the person improves. So if there is a rift, if there is a quarrel between husband and wife, okay, I cannot live with you, you cannot live with me, let us get out. Now what will happen? They continue with their shortcomings, they continue with their weaknesses. There is no endeavor to improvise it, to settle it. It's not there. Because it's not possible to just quit. But you are forced to live together, we cannot live with differences, and ultimately we have to find out a way where we can solve it and come closer. Now that is the purpose of this Vivaha Samskara. We sacrifice, we understand, we cooperate, we accommodate, we are faithful, we love one another. Now in the process what will happen is intellectually we grow, our weaknesses will come down, our strengths will increase, and spiritually we become stronger. This whole process of Vivaha Samskara itself is such a wonderful thing where it makes a person mature. Maturity comes when you fight it out. If I just escape saying that this is not suitable for me, I'll quit. They can never improve because they are running away from the situation. Now there is no question of running away in this Vivaha Samskara. We live together. Some problem is there, we settle it. Either I sacrifice or you sacrifice. I will accommodate, I will adjust, you adjust, something. I cooperate, you cooperate. This cooperation itself is the basic principle for our improvement. It brings out change in us, intellectually and spiritually. That change is nothing but progress. Now this will happen only when we decide that we two are bound together and we will never separate. If that is the guiding principle, yes, all these adjustments, all these improvements will happen. If there is scope for splitting, if there is scope for getting separated, these things will not happen. Okay, I don't fit in here, you don't fit in here, you get out, I get out. And they continue with their own habits, continue with their own attitudes, continue with their own aptitudes, continue with their own samskaras. They go elsewhere. Then what will happen? There also they don't get adjusted. Kick it out, get out. So in this whole process of getting in and getting out, getting in and getting out, yes, we see not one divorce. We see they marry another person, live for a year or two, get out. Then get another person, oh, they say, okay, this is fine, and they stay there for 2 or 3 years, get out. Several marriages, several divorces. It's a foolish trail, it's a foolish trail. If they had persuaded in one relationship faithfully, with wholeheartedness, they would have improved a lot. It is not so. Something doesn't fit in, I get out. Something doesn't fit in, I get out. They never think that the problem is with me and I am the person who have to change it. I am the person who have to look up at the things in a different perspective. They never think of that. The situation doesn't suit me, I get out from that situation. No. If you are bound to that situation, then we will change, we will improve. We will look at several other dimensions. And that's what exactly happens in the institution of marriage. They are bound together, no scope for separation. Then they have to work out some solution, they have to work out some process wherein they will be able to tolerate the other person. They think of changing themselves, and that change is what is required for our spiritual development. We cannot achieve spiritually being what we are. No, we have to change. We have to look at things in a different way. We have to understand so many things. We have to sacrifice so many things. We have to tolerate so many things. And that makes a person spiritually strong, spiritually pure. And all this can happen only in the framework of marriage, some commitment. And that commitment is with that person only. Antatpranashvamam hridi. So take me to your heart, I shall take you into my heart. And it's an understanding between we two that we will live together, we will never get separated. We are bound. It's a joint venture, we have accepted it. It's a partnership. We are not going to get out of this. If there is any problem, we will settle down within the framework. If I am to sacrifice, if I am to tolerate something, yes, I will do it. Please do it on your side. And this we have to maintain. It's not one day affair. It's a big process. We may have to work for years together. And over the period, yes, we will be able to achieve this. And over a period when this friendship blossoms, when this understanding blossoms, when this tolerance blossoms, there is no relationship like this. This is the best relationship that I can think of between human beings. And of course, the physical side is always taken care of. That's not left out. Now, the best relationship between two persons can take place only between husband and wife because they are open to the other person 100%. Whereas in all other relationships, it's not 100%. As long as it's okay, that relationship will continue. If something is wrong, we quit, we separate. This is not a relationship to get separated. It's a relationship where you have to move closer and closer. And if something is not fitting, we have to make it fit. And to make things fit only is the process of spiritually progressing. I cannot progress as I am. If I have to progress spiritually, I have to change myself. I have to improvise myself. That's the Vedic guidance. I have told you many times. Utkramata Purusha Mavapatthaha. Purusha is a Satchit, the soul. From where you are, you have to move ahead. You cannot achieve things as you are. No, you have to move ahead. You have to change yourself. You have to take into your heart so many things. Improvise yourself. That is spiritual progress. Spiritual progress is not stagnant. Spiritual progress is dynamic and is prospective. You have to move ahead. And ma avapata, don't fall down. You have to move. You have to move. And here, moving alone may not be very comfortable. So hold hand with another person, help that person to move, and that person will help you to move. Both of you move together. That's your samskara. And here, we are doing it not on commercial grounds, not on accounting grounds. We are doing it on love. We are doing it on cooperation. Mutual. It's for the benefit of both. You need something, I'll give you. I need something, you give me. And while giving, there is no calculation. We are doing it for the mutual benefit. Together, it is a joint venture. We continue. Udyanam te purusha navayanam. Another piece of Vedas. It says, your journey is upwards. Your journey is towards a better goal. So the journey towards a better goal cannot happen if I get stagnated where I am. I have to think, I have to review what is in me, intellectually, spiritually, and analyze it, and find out the combination of good and bad, and encourage good to grow, and snub the bad things. That's a process. That's a spiritual progress. Now here we have got company. They are also doing the same. I'm also doing the same. Our efforts are the same. Our goal is the same. And of course, I am strong in some places, I am weak in some other things. The other person is strong in some other things, weak in some other things. Okay, wherever I am weak, I will take the support of that strength of my partner. And where the partner is weak, I shall supplement it with my strength. And the whole journey together, holding hands, can happen. And finally, we will be able to reach the goal. Some simple example, it's not an exact example. One simple example, it is like the understanding between a lame and a blind person. A lame and a blind person. A lame person cannot walk, but he can see. A blind person can walk but cannot see. Now what happens? A person who is lame will sit on the shoulders of the blind person. Now, together they can walk and see. The person who is on the shoulders, who is lame, cannot walk but he can see, he will guide. And the person who is blind cannot see, but he can walk. So he walks along with that person. Now both of them can reach the goal. But not individually. Individually, the person can see but cannot walk, the person cannot see but can walk. Both will not help them to reach the goal. But there's a beautiful understanding between the two, and one gives supports to the other. The lame person guides, the blind person takes both to the goal. It's not an exact example, similar, almost close to this. This is how it happens. We have got our own weaknesses, we have got our own strengths, and our weakness and strengths are supplemented with the weakness and strengths of the other person, and together we will be able to reach the goal by holding hands together. But this has to happen between the very two persons and over a period, for a long period. So what should happen? One should have the other in their heart, one should have the belief in the other person, the partner, and that has to be maintained. They have to be together, and they have to continuously endeavor to reach the goal. Antakranishva mam hridi, have in your heart, and mana innau sahasati. That is, we shall be together for a long period. It is a long journey. I hold your hands, you hold my hands. And another very important thing what you have to understand is, here nobody is superior and nobody is inferior. That's a very, very important thing. Neither husband is superior or the wife is superior, or nobody is inferior. It's a friendship. Friendship can happen only between two equals. If one is superior and one is inferior, there can be no friendship. One will always boss over the other, one will always exploit the weaker one. But here, this relationship between husband and wife is not like that. It is between equals and is for friendship. So through their friendship, they hold hands together, give place in their heart for the other partner, and continue it, maintain it, and both of them work together for the betterment of both. So it's a joint venture. For that, this sentence helps them a lot. Antakranishva mam hridi, mana innau sahasati. In another place, they give a beautiful simile. We have got it. Where they say that the hearts of both of us has to come together, has to merge in one another. As two waters from two bowls get merged in another bowl. A third bowl is there. It says, say, take water in two bowls, take a third bowl and put these two waters into the third bowl. Now what will happen? Both get merged, and it shall be impossible for us to say which water has come from which bowl. They become so harmonious. So let our hearts become so harmonious. That's also a piece of the Veda mantra, which is also employed in Yoga Samskara. Now taking all these things together, it's a wonderful relationship, it's a wonderful friendship between husband and wife, and they really understand the importance of it. They make a very good pair, and both of them together can achieve the goal. And a progeny, what they beget under such relationship will be Satsantana. It will be a beautiful body. Samapo hridayaninau. That is a piece of the Veda mantra. Samapo hridayaninau. There also it speaks of hridaya. There also it speaks of now, which is in the dual number. Samapaha. Apa is water, samapaha. When two waters mix, they mix so harmoniously that it will be impossible to segregate them separately. Like that, let our hearts come together. Samapo hridayaninau. Now that same Samapo hridayaninau, here they are telling Antakranishva mam hridi, mana innau sahasati. They mean the same thing. Fusing the hearts, fusing the souls, fusing our ways of life, fusing our strengths and weaknesses, and working out for the benefit of both. It's a wonderful process they have given. And during this process, beyond physical relationship, we can think of intellectual and spiritual relationships and growth. And of course, that is the purpose of human life. And that's what we can achieve as human beings. Nothing less than that. Nothing less than that. So there are several such mantras which are employed in Vivaha Samskara. In addition to this, in addition to Samapo Hridyaninav, there are so many such mantras. Over a period, we shall discuss all of them, of course. And when these things are taken to heart and practically employed, yes, we find a beautiful relationship in our partner. We find a very good friend in our partner. And even though there could be some difference of opinions, it will never disturb us. Okay, we accept, we agree to disagree and continue hand in hand. There could be some differences in spite of all these things. But there will be a constant endeavor to lessen those differences, to wipe out those differences and come closer and closer. It's a process. It can happen only between one man and one wife and one wife and one man. They speak of Pativrata. Okay, fine. But very rarely they speak of Patnivrata. That's a problem. That's a problem. Now, Pativrata has been emphasized in Puranas. That's why I got a grievance about them. They speak of Pativrata and very rarely they speak of Patnivrata, they never speak of. But Vedas are very clear. When Pativrata is there, it should be balanced with Patnivrata. Patnivrata is there, it should be balanced with Pativrata. Then only things will happen. This is a very, very clear understanding and guidance by the Vedas, which we miss in Puranas. They teach everything for a woman, a Pativrata. So this is how you should be, this is how you should be, fine. What about the Patnivrata? They never speak of. They say, even though he is physically not handsome, even though he is subject to so many vices, even though he has got so many problems, he is the God for a woman. That's how they speak of in Puranas. Which is very foolish and which is very unjust. It has to be complemented and supplemented by Patnivrata. Only then it will happen. It's a friendship between them. Now what I just said, it is from Padma Purana. There they speak of in Padma Purana. It is lopsided. It is lopsided. They never consider both as partners in the joint venture of Vivaha Samskara and moving towards intellectual and spiritual progress. All the responsibility they put it on the woman and they leave the men astray. They leave the men free, unbound. But Vedas are very clear. No, it says it can never happen. It is a joint venture. Both are responsible. Both have to work together. Both have to believe one another. Both have to be faithful to one another. Nobody is free to do whatever they want. Both have to bind themselves to certain principles, certain goals, and what they can achieve. And the satisfaction and the happiness they get is invaluable. Is invaluable. We cannot compare it to anything. And that we cannot get in the physical world. It is in the intellectual and spiritual world to get it. And that decides the happiness between the husband and wife. What should happen? Antakarana Shwamam Hridi. Mana innau sahasa. If this is the guiding principle for the husband and wife, Samapo Hridyaninav, if that is the guiding principle, then things are different. Things are different. They move away, they move higher, they move to a higher level than an animal life, and they become humane, and over a period it becomes divine. The relationship becomes very divine. That should be our goal. That should be our goal. Of course, physical thing is always there. We are not worried about that. But mere physical thing, if it's in the focus, we miss the two very important dimensions of a human life. That is the intellectual and the spiritual dimension. But if these two dimensions are taken to the focus, the physical dimension will automatically follow. It will not be a problem at all. So they speak of these things, and when we go into the different other mantras, what they use in the marriage rites, rituals, yes, we'll be able to understand many more things. Of course, we'll discuss about it in the course of our understanding these things. This one just piece is just a sample. It's just a sample what they use in the Vivaha Samskara. Antarkrana Shramam Hrudi, Mana Inno Sahasati. Now the explanation what I have given to you is not just based on this. I have taken the support of several other Veda mantras which are complementary to this. That's one of the beautiful things what we got in Vedas. One Veda mantra is complemented and supplemented by another Veda mantra. Never they contradict one another. That's a wonderful thing what we have got. But other than Vedas, if you go into any other source of knowledge available in the world, in one place or the other they contradict. Including Quran and Bible, unfortunately. One very simple and glaring example what I can give is, in one place they speak of compassion, love all creatures. In another place they say, you can eat this animal, you can eat that animal. Totally contradictory. They speak of love and affection in one place and they give a list of animals which they can eat, which they cannot eat. Meat eating, non-vegetarianism. So non-vegetarianism and compassion, they can never go together. They contradict to one another. Such things are there. But you don't find even one such contradiction in all the 20,000 and all mantras in the Veda, all the 4 Vedas put together. They are all complementary to one another, supplementary to one another. This I have been experiencing. Whenever I explain not only that mantra, not only that sentence, but I take the support of several other Veda mantras and quote parallelly. I have observed it. Yes, that is the beauty of this Vedic literature, Vedic guidance. And that is why we say that these Vedic things are given by the divine power. It's not a product of the human brain. Human brain has got its own limitations. And it keeps on changing as they grow. Of course, that change is required. As they grow, they change. If that change is for the better, that's wonderful. But here, what is said is the fixed rule at the physical level, at the intellectual level, and at the spiritual level. And they are the same for all people at all places at all times. Okay, thank you very much for your patient listening.
Sharmaji, one question.
And tell me.
You explained Praja. Can you tell that again, please?
Ja is Jani Pradurbhave, root. Jani Pradurbhave, that is that which has taken birth. Pra is an upasarga which exemplifies. The best progeny is Praja. Just getting birth is Ja. In the same way, we have got parallelly Janaka Janani. Janaka Janani are those who are responsible for the birth of the child, that's all. But Janaka Janani should not stop there, they should become Mata and Pita. Mata is a person who molds the personality and character of the child. Pita is the one who provides all the requirements and protects. Mere Janaka Janani, they are responsible for birth and they never do or they never discharge their duties. So after becoming Janaka and Janani, if they discharge their duties, they are called as Mata Pita. In the same way, that which taken birth is Ja. That which is a better progeny, a best progeny, that's a Praja. That Pra means best, Prakrishta, exemplary, very good. That Pra represents that. Mana is another example. Mana is measurement. Okay, some measurement is done. If it is Pra plus Mana, Pramana, it becomes authentic.
Mana
it's
is?
Best. Yes, tell me.
Mana is?
Mana is measurement. Mana, alate, measurement. Pramana, it becomes Pramana, that is an authentic measurement. That which is measured in an exemplary way. Pramana. Desha is a place. Just a place, any place it could be. Pradesha is the best place for our habitat. Best place. That pra says it is the best, it is good, compatible, wonderful. Desha, it could be any place. Pradesha makes it better. Wherever that pra is there, that's what it happens. Wherever it is there.
Astu.
The meaning of that upasarga, pra, the prefix, prize that.
Ah.
He just makes it the best. Yes, tell me.
One more question. Can you just complete this mantra that you have stated? Udyanam te?
Udyanam te purusha navayanam. I think I have spoken about that. If not, okay, we'll discuss it in the next time.
Yeah, I will
I'll
say.
give the address of it
Ah.
and discuss the whole mantra. And another mantra which is complementary is Utkramatah Purushamavapattaha. That's also a mantra to be studied. Both we'll see in the next classes.
Can I just take that down, Sharmaji? Utkrama?
Utkramatah, Utkrama Ataha. Utkrama Ataha. Purusha Ma Avapattaha. Don't fall down. Your journey is upwards from where you are. So first know where you are, and from there you move up. Utkrama. Ut means upwards. Utkrama. Even that Udyana also, it's that Utyana. Utyana is Udyana. Yana is journey. Utyana, your journey is upwards. Now Avayanam. Avayana means to move down. Don't fall down. We shall discuss those mantras. They are also very interesting.
Yes.
Okay, thank you all once again.
Dhanyavad.
Namaste. Feel free to ask any question if you have. To the best of my knowledge, I will answer. Others will search and answer together. That's all. No problem. Thank you very much.